"You thought you could marry my son," his father said with a harsh tone. "Your standards aren't good enough for us. Don't even think about becoming a part of our family. The fact is, you're not the right person for my son. Now, go." That's how coldly my father-in-law spoke to me, and my mother-in-law joined in too. "You would have approached Alex for money anyway," she added. "My name is Kate. I'm 34 years old and I work for a company. Ever since I finished university, I've been working at the same place for years. Some of my colleagues left to start their own businesses, get married, or have children. In those situations, I stayed at the company, dedicating myself to my job every day. You might think I'm a lonely workaholic woman, but I'm not. I have a boyfriend named Alex. Alex was a business partner. I thought he was a nice young man who took his work seriously. After working together several times, we started to like each other. He confessed his feelings for me, and we began dating. It's been a few years since Alex and I started dating, and now we're even engaged. But if you ask me if I'm not worried about marrying him, I have to admit that there are some things that concern me. He's younger than me, and I wonder if he'll be okay with the age gap, even though he insists it doesn't matter. By the way, Alex's father owns a business, and Alex himself works for his father's company. This means that in the future, Alex will take over the company and become its president. I'm afraid his parents might not approve of our marriage. I've been feeling uneasy about this for a while. Of course, I was thrilled when he proposed to me, but I have doubts about whether we can really go through with getting married. However, Alex doesn't seem bothered at all. His optimism is one of the things I really love about him. He has already met my parents, and we've enjoyed many nice dinners together. My parents have already given their blessing for our marriage, and they really like Alex. Finally, the day came to visit Alex's parents. For weeks, I had been incredibly nervous about meeting them. Their house was as spectacular as expected for the president of a company. A huge mansion that made me feel like I was in a royal palace or something. At that moment, I instantly started wondering if my clothes were right for this place. I had chosen some nice outfits, but I wasn't sure if they were fancy enough. Coming from a more modest background, Alex's home felt like a different world to me. Alex often treated me to fancy dinners at upscale restaurants, and he always booked luxurious hotel rooms for our vacations. He saw these things as normal, but sometimes I felt a bit out of place, like we were from different worlds. Despite this, he never imposed his values on me, and he never flaunted his wealth. I don't judge people by their money. I fell in love with you because of your personality and your inner beauty. At first, I questioned why a younger, handsome man like you would be interested in me. But your kind words reassured me that you truly accept me for who I am. Because we love each other deeply, inside and out, Alex and I are planning to get married. I feel like I've found an amazing man, and I really hope your parents approve of us. Don't worry, babe. I've already talked to my parents about you, he reassured me. Then the front door opened, and his mother greeted us warmly. "Welcome, you must be Kate." "Yes, I'm Kate. Nice to meet you," I replied. His mother gave me a quick nod and ushered us inside. The living room was enormous. Alex's father was already there, seated on a large, luxurious sofa. I felt a sudden rush of nerves. Meeting his mother had made me anxious enough, but his father seemed even more intimidating, fitting for the president of a company. "It's a pleasure to finally meet you. My name is Kate. Thank you for inviting me today," I managed to say, my voice trembling slightly. Alex looked at me and smiled reassuringly. "Don't be so nervous." But his parents weren't smiling. Their gaze was cold and unwelcoming. I could feel myself tensing up. "Please have a seat," his father instructed, gesturing towards the sofa. The atmosphere felt tense, almost like a formal interview. "Well," I started nervously, but his father interrupted me as soon as I sat down. "No," he said abruptly, and his mother nodded in agreement. "Hey Mom, Dad, what's going on?" "Why are you saying no? That's really rude," Alex interjected, clearly upset and trying to defend me. But his parents appeared unmoved, ignoring his protest. "How old are you anyway? You look quite old," his mother bluntly remarked. "I'm 34, I replied, trying to keep calm. "Goodness, you're 6 years older than Alex. How can we accept Alex marrying someone so much older?" His mother continued. "And besides, it might be too late for you to have children, isn't it? We want someone who can give us grandchildren." "Personally, I think Alex should marry a younger woman, younger than him," she added, her voice cold and dismissive. I had expected them to bring up my age. And you're still single at your age. It makes me wonder if there's something wrong with you. Maybe you're too picky or have a difficult personality, his mother concluded. Mom, what are you saying? Kate is an amazing person with a great personality. Alex defended me once more. Then why haven't you been married before? His mother's sharp question pierced the air. Excuse me, I said firmly, feeling compelled to explain. I know I'm a bit older to be getting married now, but I love my job and I've always wanted to focus on my career. That's why I didn't get married until now. It wasn't until I met Alex that I realized I wanted to settle down. I felt overwhelmed by the pressure from his parents. Despite my efforts to explain, their attitude remained unchanged. Shouldn't you be working harder? Your company isn't that big. Even if you work diligently and get promoted, the pay must be quite modest, isn't it? His father criticized. I think you should consider making yourself more attractive as a woman. Maybe some cosmetic enhancements could help. His mother added bluntly. Honey, that's too direct. Alex interjected, trying to soften the mood, but his parents chuckled dismissively. I was shocked and hurt, unsure of how to respond to their harsh comments. You thought you could marry my son. Your standards don't match ours. Don't you dare dream of joining us. Anyway, the point is, you're not the right person for my son. Now, leave, his father coldly stated. His mother joined in, saying, You would have approached Alex for money anyway. I don't know how you fooled my son, but you can't fool us too. That's enough. I finally snapped. You can say whatever you want, but it's my life. I'm going to decide whom I marry. Alex tried to defend me, but I stopped him. I see. I understand your feelings, but it's incredibly rude of you to say such hurtful things to me, especially since we just met, I declared firmly. I don't care about wealth. It's not important to me, but if I were to become rich, I definitely wouldn't want to be like you. With that, I stood up. We don't need to continue this conversation, I said, walking out of their house. You've got to be kidding me. Don't you dare insult us, you beggar. We'll never allow you to marry my son. I don't want to be related to people like you anyway, his father shouted after me. Ignoring his words, I left in frustration. Kate, I'm sorry. I never expected my parents to say something like that. It was really hurtful. Alex apologized earnestly. But maybe this is a blessing in disguise. Getting married under those circumstances would have been even more stressful. Anyway, I'm cutting ties with him. I won't be taking over my dad's company, and I'll be resigning from that job too. Don't rush into such big decisions, I cautioned him. I'm not rushing. I truly love you, Kate. We didn't get together for money, so leaving the family home shouldn't be a problem, Alex assured me. Well, that's true, but let's go to your parents' house and talk to them, Alex suggested, holding my hand as we walked. My parents were surprised by our unexpected visit but welcomed us warmly. Over tea, we explained what had transpired. My father listened quietly. Alex, your father's company is Space C, correct? And his name is Patrick Smith, my father suddenly asked. Yes, but why do you ask? Alex responded, puzzled. I see. Just as I thought. How about we go visit your parents right now? My father suggested. Dad, what's going on? Because they said they wanted to see her face, didn't they? Let's go show them a face, then, my father said firmly. My father wasn't one to usually stir up trouble, so I was taken aback, but he seemed resolute. We had no choice but to go along with him. So we found ourselves back at Alex's parents' house once more. This time, it was Alex's father who answered the door, not his mother. You again. I won't forgive you, no matter how many times you come back, Alex's father said sternly. Whose daughter do you think you were speaking to, Patrick? My father retorted, raising an eyebrow. It took Alex's father a moment to recognize something. Mr. Anderson, is that you? You finally remembered. Yes, she's my only daughter. We had her later in our marriage, my father revealed. By the way, how dare you insult my precious daughter? Have you forgotten what I did for you 3 years ago? No. You see, when you were arrested for smoking, drinking, and even caught shoplifting, I covered for you and gave you the chance to turn your life around, didn't I? I did everything I could to help you get a decent job. Didn't I teach you that no one can succeed alone and we all need to support each other? And yet, as soon as your company became successful, you forgot all that, didn't you? Hi. I apologize for that. Alex's father suddenly appeared vulnerable, a stark change from his earlier demeanor. If you aspire to be a company president, you need to treat people with compassion. Thinking you're superior just because you've achieved success. Aren't you looking down on others unfairly? Well, Alex began to respond, but his father seemed determined to make his point. Oh, so now? Alex attempted to continue, but his father cut him off. My boss always says he's stressed to the point of stomachaches. Dad, are you bullying him? Alex challenged. What do you mean? I'm simply pushing him to excel. Alex's father retorted, growing defensive. Just when I thought you were finally seeing the bigger picture, you revert to your old ways. You're really difficult to deal with, Patrick. Alex expressed frustration. First of all, apologize to my daughter before you insult her, my father interjected firmly. Yes, I am sorry, Kate. Alex's father apologized, lowering his head to me. It seems a master-slave relationship ingrained in our minds since school days is hard to change. I reflected silently. Honey, you should apologize to her too. Alex's mother added, also bowing her head. I felt relieved that Alex's parents apologized to me. Hey, I'm leaving this house and quitting the company, Alex suddenly announced. At that moment, Alex's parents were visibly alarmed. Wait, if you leave, who will take over your father's company? You're our only hope, they exclaimed. I'm tired of being controlled by you in everything. I'm going to start my own company and see how far I can go on my own. And I'll marry Kate, as I promised. Thank you for everything, Alex said firmly, bowing his head as he bid farewell to his parents. They were stunned, their faces turning pale, but we left them behind nonetheless. My father had been a high school teacher until he retired. I had no idea that Alex's father had once been one of his students. Curious, I looked up the company Alex worked for on their website, and there was Patrick's picture. At first, I was proud to see that one of my former students had achieved so much, my father reflected. But it's easy to get caught up in wealth and lose sight of what truly matters. My father had always been firm on these principles. Eventually, Alex did indeed leave his job and ventured into starting his own business. Meanwhile, I continued to support him as I pursued my own career. Alex proved to be a talented business owner, and his company quickly became profitable. We got married and found happiness together, supporting each other every day. Meanwhile, my father-in-law faced legal issues due to accusations of mistreatment by his employees. This caused the company's stock price to drop, leading to his removal as president. Through these experiences, I learned the importance of humility and compassion. My father has always been a role model, and I treasure the lessons he taught me. I strive to live my life with integrity and grace. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe to our channel. Stay tuned for more content coming soon.